Hello, and thank you for joining us for part two of our discussion around Insights to Action, an ORI service offering to translate member data into dollars. And I said we would come back and talk about a few more specific client examples. Just as a quick refresh, though, on what we were talking about in part one, we addressed why Insights to Action. And the fact that we're really talking about increasing member retention by increasing and strengthening those relationships. We're talking about figuring out how to increase the average transaction size. So if somebody comes to your conference, how do you get them to buy more of your educational offerings, et cetera, the cross-selling and upselling. The new offerings, right? Increasing the understanding of a day in the life of your member to ensure that you really are at the cutting edge of meeting their needs, and then gaining competitive advantage over rivals, offering those things that ensure you're attracting the new members as opposed to your competitors. So the other thing we went over in part one is what the offering looks like, shifting from raw data to actionable insights in 8 weeks, leveraging all data sources, so whether it's survey open-ended feedback, community forum commentary, contact center and help desk conversations, as well as your AMS data, then taking all of that and with your strategic objectives in mind, conducting analysis, finding the pain points and opportunities, and bringing them back to your teams in a way, often very individualized dashboards, so that they can not only take the findings, but also do a little slicing and dicing on their own if they want to, in addition to the work that we have done to find those insights and take action very quickly. So in terms of a few more examples on where we've seen some interesting outcomes, this was an association that had quite a bit of open-ended survey feedback that had not been utilized. We took the advanced text analytics capabilities and went specifically looking for level of effort. I mentioned in part one that level of effort is our ability to look for where people are mentioning frustration, that something's hard to do, it's difficult to do, and that can be a leading indicator of churn. So in this graphic, what we're looking at are those where the commentary did indicate a high level of effort, and you'll see right up there at the top on the left-hand side is website. And we sliced and diced several different ways, and we kept coming back to the fact that the website was challenging. So this was interesting because this particular association said, you know, we've always thought our website was a little challenging, but we've never been able to make the case for why we needed to do it. We can go back to the board, we can go back to marketing, and we can really push to have this happen. We've done some work with the American Staffing Association and helping them figure out, using their higher logic forum data, what are members talking about and what do they need, distinguishing between different sizes of members and between different types of members. So ASA has a very active and strategic use of their higher logic forum. We were able to take all of that commentary and look at, okay, what are people talking about and what's the sentiment attached to those conversations? Where are people expressing high levels of effort in their day-to-day life, negative sentiment, etc. The interesting thing about this work was that these applicant tracking systems, that's what ATS stands for, was coming up across the board. It didn't matter whether it was a small, medium, or large company. There was just frustration and a need, frankly, for more education and more information about these applicant tracking systems. So high value insight that ASA was able to grab onto and use. We were also able to roll up the conversations from an individual level up to the company level. And this was something ASA had always wanted to know, was if we look at each different company, what do they care about? What are the main drivers of their conversation, and better understand levels of engagement. Frankly, I think this is a golden opportunity with this kind of segmentation we're looking at. If you're a trade association, you're getting ready to go to a key member to renew for the year ahead. being able to take a quick look at what have they been talking about, what do they care about, and what do you need to talk about in your meeting could be very high value. So in the words of ASA, the questions we answered are on the left. As I mentioned, what are they talking about? What are the trending topics? Where are they encountering difficulty? And Diana Mertz was kind enough to share that while they've spent a lot of money on surveys and analysis in the past, they have not seen the kinds of insights that they gleaned in working with ORI over actually a very short period of time doing advanced text analytics. So the last thing that I'll share here is this idea of journey mapping. I know a number of associations are starting to look at customer journeys and mapping out what does a member experience as they join, and what happens over time as that member becomes more and more involved with the association. We can actually track that journey, however you define it. We can take the journey itself and map it to the conversations that people are having at different points in that journey and look for negative sentiment or look for positive sentiment. We want to track what's going well as what's not going well. But being able to mine that has some very powerful use cases. So with that, I will conclude and ask if you are interested, would Insights to Action be a fit for your association? And we are always happy to schedule a 15-minute mutual evaluation discussion where we're looking for an estimate of what the ROI would be. If we can't find one for you, we're not going to suggest you do this, but we love digging around and seeing what kind of data you have. No obligation conversation, just reach out at that email, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.